Hi, my name is Rod Khleif, and I'm the host of the Lifetime Cash Flow Through Real Estate Investing podcast. And every week I interview multifamily rock stars, and we talk about how they've built incredible wealth for themselves and their families through multifamily properties. So hit the like and subscribe buttons to get notified every Monday when a new episode comes out. Let's get to it. Welcome back to Multifamily Rock Stars. Now, this is where we interview people that are crushing it in this business, and we show you guys the inside scoop on how multifamily investors are creating massive success in their businesses and, more importantly, in their lives. And as always, I've got my co-host, Mark Nagy. He's the director of our Massive Action team for the Warrior Group. What's up, Mark?
Hey, not much, Rod. Good to see you again.
Likewise.
Doing unbelievable as always. Just super excited for our Multifamily Rock Stars episode today.
Yeah, as am I. Now, it's a real treat today because we're interviewing a friend of mine. He's actually on our team that handles the asset management on our team. And his name's Adam Beckstedt, and he's in over 700 doors now as a general partner. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Welcome to the show, brother.
Rod, thanks for having me. Great to be here.
Yeah. Well, great to have you here, my friend. And so Adam and I give each other a lot of crap. You have those relationships where you can give and take and pitch and catch jokes and give each other crap. And that's Adam and I's relationship. And we have a lot of fun with it. And, he's become a really good friend. He stayed here in our guest house and him and his beautiful family. And so this is going to be a lot of fun today. So, when did you join the program, buddy? I don't remember about when that was. Do you recall?
It was towards the end of 2018, probably October of 18.
Okay. And I know you had I think a little over 40 doors when you came in.
Yes, sir.
So talk about your experience and talk about what prompted you to join the program and or ramp this thing. So talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you said, I had over 40 units. It was 42, and I had a mixture of stuff, and I kind of did the opposite of what everyone tells you to do. They say, hey, pick what you want to do and stick with that. I wanted to feel the pain and experience as much as I could. So I got single family, multifamily, some office space, all in that mixture. And actually, at that point, I finally decided with my wife, I'm like, hey, we got to stick with one of these categories. And I came across a Facebook page, and I believe it was yours. Mm-hmm. And kudos to your marketing team, because they just blasted me with all your boot camp material. Like, hey, come see our boot camp. And I'm like, hey, I'm going to go to this boot camp, and we're going to determine if we're going to stick with multifamily going here on out.
Which one was it, if I may ask?
That was the Chicago.
Okay. Yeah, that was a good one. Awesome. Okay. Third one I ever did. Yeah.
Yeah. So we went there, and we wanted to see if there was some secret sauce we were missing out on, kind of reaffirm what we were doing, if it was the right stuff, and walked away from that super pumped and ready to go full-time multifamily.
Wow. So you joined the program, but you were telling us before we started recording that you had some reservations. Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah. I mean, when I went to the boot camp, I knew, every time you go to events like this, no matter what industry you're in, there's always stuff that you can do in addition to what you're attending to. And to be fair, there's zero chance that anyone in the world could teach you what you need in multifamily in even a week's training, let alone the 3-day boot camp. So I know throughout my past experience in my previous business that the better group of people you can be around, the smaller group, the more people that are doing things, that you're going to get further faster. So I didn't necessarily want coaching. My wife and I were already doing, rentals on our own, and I didn't feel like I needed it. But I saw the value in this group of this warrior group and all these people that are just rock stars. And, you have people that are just rock stars in every facet of the business. And I wanted to be part of that. So I joined. I'm like, yeah, let's do this. Even though I went in with my wife and we were both like, no way we're doing the coaching. And, after I saw the value in it and the people that were there and the people that didn't even know me and wanted me to succeed, it was insane.
Let me add something, and I'll let Mark. I won't steal all the thunder here, but that's one of the things that blows me away in our organization is we attract people that want to help other people. In fact, we had last night one of the Warriors put on a networking event. I think there were 40 or 50 Warriors on it networking. So we've got, we facilitate that as well ourselves. We do breakouts and we connect people that live near each other or invest near each other. That's one of the things we do right away. But so many subgroups have been built inside the Warrior group. There's underwriting groups. There's accountability groups, several of them, little mini masterminds. And like I said, last night we had this networking group, and it's just wonderful to be in a group of people that don't fear your success. They encourage it and they want to help each other grow. And it's just a beautiful thing to see. I mean, I get goosebumps when I see it sometimes on the Facebook feed in our private Facebook group. But Mark, go ahead and throw some questions at him.
Yeah, from what I understand, Adam, you had an automotive business before you got in multifamily, right? That it sounds like you acquired, you grew it, you successfully exited out of that, and then made the jump. What made you decide to jump into multifamily? A lot of people might look at that and say, well, why not just stick in the business world?
Great question. Yeah, absolutely. So I was in the automotive collision industry pretty much for the majority of my life. One way or the other, and really wasn't planning on leaving the industry, and got an offer to sell my business. And I had dabbled in some real estate before that, even while I was in the automotive industry. And as soon as I got the offer to sell, I knew exactly what I would do. I knew it was in real estate. I didn't know it was multifamily per se, but I knew it would be real estate. And because it was mainly the success of my parents through real estate, that I knew it would be real estate in my experience in the past. So it just gave me the push to say, this was a great journey. I was losing passion within that journey, and I was ready to take on the real estate that I had been pushing off to the side because I was stuck in my day-to-day, focused in the business and not following my passion for real estate.
Wow, that's amazing. Having that passion, Rod.
Oh, passion's everything. I mean, and if you lose it, by God, you better regain it, or life's not worth living, frankly. Or you better fix. I shouldn't say it that way. But that's horrible that I said it that way, because literally I just did an episode on veteran suicide. I mean, I digress. But yeah, horrible that I articulate that way. But life was meant to be to have passion, for God's sakes. You don't want to have any regret at the end of your life. And so many people, they do, and they end up at the end of their life with regrets. And, those of you that are fearing failure, I'm going to tell you, fear regret a lot more. Fear being in the same place you are a year from now, right? That you are right now, unless you freaking love where you are right now. So very, very important. Now, Adam, what skill sets would you say that you brought from the automotive, your automotive background, that you're bringing to multifamily real estate?
It's multifaceted. I would say owning and operating a business for so long, you deal with so many different aspects of it. I was able to bring that diverse skill set, whether it's hiring, firing, whether it's balancing a budget, whether it's negotiating with vendors, making relationships, all that type of stuff leads into any other type of business. And that includes multifamily real estate.
Yeah. Well, obviously Robert and I saw something in you, and you're a member of our extremely valued member of our team now, and you handle the asset management for our assets, which is becoming a fairly significant position. And we're thrilled with the job you're doing. And I mean, I knew the answer to the question before I asked it, but I wanted other people to hear it, because, we talk about on the show that, there are so many different skills that come together to do a multifamily deal, like the relationship building, like the process driven asset management piece, the project management piece, which involves, like you just said, hiring, firing, vendor relationships, and tracking KPIs and results, and And in fact, let's talk. I want you to drill down on enhance the conversation on some of the things that you do inside the asset management space. But before you do, I just want to finish my thought. And that is, there's so many ways that you can get into this business. Maybe you're out there bird dogging deals and you bring those to groups, or you help with the due diligence, or you help with raising the equity, or again, the processes like Adam is such an expert in. So again, whatever your superpower is, I promise you there's a fit inside the multifamily space.
Hey, Rob, Adam, let me just add on to that.
Please.
And that it really doesn't matter what your superpower is if other people don't know your superpower. So you have to be able to know what your own power is and how that helps other people and portray that to them. Otherwise, it's useless.
Right. You have to communicate it, and there was even a group put together inside of the Warrior Group where everybody defined what their superpower was, and we were and I forgot who it was, Jefferson I think did it, and they're matching people up in groups, and it was really cool to see in this last event that we did. Mark presented some of the deals that have been done the last 45 days, and the majority of them were done between warriors, and it's just very, very cool. But why don't you expand on the asset management side of the business? So guys, those of you listening, what I mean by that is not property management, because we did use third-party property management companies. We are now bringing our management, some of it in-house, but asset management is managing the property management companies, and in this case, managing the asset. So Adam's role is going to be even more involved as we start doing our own management. But if you could speak to what's involved in that side of what you do.
I think you could boil it down to glorified babysitting. I mean, you're the orchestrator of everything. Right. You're having to stay up on people, following up with them to make sure that they do stuff. So
accountability.
Yeah. And, not everyone is invested in your property like you are.
Right.
So if you're having a third party property management team come in and manage your property, they're there to do a job. And they don't necessarily have millions on the line, investors to speak to, banks to report to. They don't have all that stuff. So all they have to do is enough to not get yelled at. Mm-hmm. Now, if you get a good third party management company, they go above and beyond that and actually help propel your property to succeed and maybe even do stuff that you didn't even think about. Mm-hmm. But asset management is really performing the business plan that you guys put together before you buy the property. So right. if you have
executing it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And if you have said projects to get done by said time frame, you're there to orchestrate everything. You're the maestro of this orchestra of multifamily.
Right. And speak to some of the metrics that you measure on our assets on a regular basis, if you wouldn't mind. When we're on our weekly calls, talk about some of the things that you're looking at, just to keep everybody honest.
Yeah, obviously, we're looking at occupancy. That's one of the huge key metrics. You want to know how many people are in your units, how many are vacant. You want to know how many people of those that are in your units that are paying. So you want to also not only know the physical vacancy, you want to know the economic vacancy as well. You have that. You want to know where you're at as far as rents compared to the market that you're in. So if the market's $800 and you're charging $700 just so that they can keep your occupancy up, you're missing out on a ton of money. Mm-hmm. You want to know what your expenses are based off of what you're bringing in. How are you, you want to know the aging on your work orders to see if your residents are being taken care of. Yep. You want to follow up on, you want to look at the activity that if the property's not 100% occupied, how many people are coming to view the property? How many of those people are going and actually doing a walkthrough of a unit? Of the people that walk through the unit, how many filled out an application? Of the applications, how many were approved? And see, when you break it down that tight, then you know where the breakdowns are. And that's how, these are the things we look at. And of course, you want to make sure that the vendors are doing what they're supposed to be doing, that you're negotiating, because, you get something called vendor creep, where year after year, that price seems to go up. So you want to put that stuff out to bid regularly.
And of course, now you go and visit all the assets fairly regularly as well, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. And so you're looking to see what's going on. So that that's that.
Stuff, you're looking for the stuff you can't see on a report.
Right.
You know, you can't see. I've seen it multiple times. You go there and you see the cable box sitting wide open with cables all dangling out. You can't see that on a report.
Right.
But if they aren't walking the property looking for this stuff, you know, it's getting forgotten about. But the residents see it. So, I mean, that's the type of stuff that you want to make sure that you have a good on-site property management team so that they're looking at this stuff through the eyes of your residents.
Yeah. Yeah. And frankly, the ownership as well, you know, looking for drainage issues that could create, structural issues in your assets. That's something that I really makes me crazy. And I see, so it's all of that.
Common.
Yeah. And so, you have calls, we have calls with the property managers on a weekly basis, right? And we're going through any anomalies. We're going through all these things we just described. We're finding out how we can help. A big part of the job is hiring, of course. It's getting the right people. And sometimes that takes several iterations to get the right team in place. It's a real pain in the butt, but that's probably the toughest part. Would you say that's the toughest part? Getting the right seats in the bus?
For sure.
Yeah,
it honestly is. And sometimes it takes a while to find out if they are the right people on the bus. Right. And then when you add in the component, if you're not there regularly,
right,
sometimes you don't know if they're the right person or not.
Not right away. It comes out in the wash usually, but no. And that's one of the toughest parts.
So I think a lot of people that are investing in multifamily may not be in their backyard, so they can't go visit the property weekly and get a good in-person relationship with these people. So you really have to be diligent in making sure you stay up on these things.
Absolutely. So with that being said, so let's dive into you a little bit, Adam, because I'm sure a lot of people listening are wondering same thing that I'm wondering. I heard a jump at the beginning, 42 units, now over 700, right? There's a gap there, obviously. What do you think have been the biggest key components that have helped you get there and make that jump over your journey? Because that's a big jump.
Yeah. Any aha moments in there too,
There's a lot that builds to that story, and it doesn't happen overnight. I think the two biggest things that I can point people to, and that I do point people to, is you have to be persistent, and you have to know what your superpower is and be able to offer that to other people. And you do that through networking. And no matter what industry you're in, no matter what you want to achieve, I think that networking is the number one thing that will get you further faster. And that's why I joined the coaching program. That's why I joined Rod's mastermind. That's just another smaller group of people that are doing things. And the more you can network with people like that, and I networked a lot with Rod and Robert at the mastermind, spending more one-on-one time with them, showing them what I can do, showing them the benefits that I can bring to the team. And that type of stuff is what really propelled me to be where I'm at today.
Yeah. And we're blessed to have you, brother. And I mean that, all joking aside. I mean, you're an incredible member of our team and a partner in our, moving forward. And it's a real treat to, come full circle and have you on the show today. So let me ask you this question. Do you feel like why do you think people fail at this business? Adam, I'd love to get your opinion of that.
It's not an overnight success story.
Right.
I'm saying it rarely is. I'm sure it could be in some situations, but I think a lot of people have trouble keeping the persistence of figuring out where they fit in. Mm-hmm. It's a multifaceted industry. And just like we were saying earlier, everybody has their own superpower. When I actually left your first boot camp and I was super fired up, I had plans to be my own operator, mm-hmm. just me. And sure. If the deal was too big for me, I was just going to bring in a sponsor until the deals were no longer too big for me, until I had that experience. But what I found after about 5-6 months was I was beating my head up against the wall trying to be the best at everything. I realized I could hone what I have to a group and take what they're good at and fill my weaknesses. Yep. So I think a lot of people just really don't have the persistence to figure out where they fit into that puzzle.
Yeah.
So what changed from there? So you had that kind of epiphany, stop beating my head against the wall. What did you shift then? Did you add in team members, looking at different types of deals? What shifted there?
I stopped trying to be good at everything and put almost all my efforts into networking with people that I could partner with, to figuring out who was going to fill in my weaknesses at the same time as me filling in their weaknesses.
Wow, interesting. Okay.
It's not an easy process. You just can't go to one of Rod's events and expect that, hey, I'm just going to find my place right there. I went to, I think, 6 of your events total now, Rod.
Wow.
Of the boot camps.
Wow. I will tell you, we hear that from most of the successful people in the group, is that they continue that networking process, be it my events or other, people in the spaces events, and you're adding, and I mean, and that's how you got into our ecosystem. Well, not our ecosystem, but really into our core group, into our core inner circle, was through that networking and working on Robert. And Robert's tough to bring around, and you were persistent, and that's how you made it work. And you're absolutely playing to your strengths right now. Where
one day I had really short shorts on, and I think that's what put me over the top.
I'm going to tell him you said that. I'm going to totally tell him you said that. That's hilarious. So let me ask you this. What's your favorite part of what you're doing in this business?
Right now, I would say it's the growth aspect of it. I love learning new stuff. And I definitely in asset management, even though I've been in it for quite a bit of time now, there's still a lot of things that pop up and be like, oh, yeah, I need to learn how to do that better. A good example is insurance claims can be very, very intricate. And, I've had to do a lot of learning on that, on how to handle them to get them taken care of quickly and get the appropriate payout based off of the policy. So something like that, while I've had experience with that in the past, and I was able to bring my experience with that into it, I still had a lot to learn and still have a lot to learn in there. And I just know I will progressively get better and better and better as time goes on.
Yeah, I mean, just to give you guys an example of what he's had to deal with, I just throw some things out here, because plenty of roof claims, but we had that tornado destroy one of our assets, and he was very intricately involved in getting that rebuilt and bringing it back online, and it's an absolute home run for us. We had in our Louisiana asset, we had some drugged up kid racing through the parking lot, flipped and upside down hit one of our buildings. And oh God, I know there's more, but it's just like you can't make this shit up.
Yeah, and besides the roof claims, it just seems like it keeps going and going.
Now listen, I'm sorry. Let me ask one more question, Mark. Forgive me, I'm being a hog here, but we get a lot of people on the show that listen to the show that haven't done anything yet, that haven't taken action, because of fear, because of their analysis paralysis, because of limiting beliefs, because they're comfortable. What would you say to those people? What advice would you give those people?
Do you really want it?
Yeah, good question. Yeah.
I seriously,
yeah.
Do you really want it, or is it just something that you think you want?
Yeah.
Because if you really want it, you're going to work around all that stuff.
Yeah. Great answer. Mark, sorry.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, everybody has challenges, right, of why they shouldn't get into this business, right? I don't have enough time. I've got kids. I've got a job. I don't have enough money. I have fear, whatever. But all you really need is those 1 or 2 good reasons of why you should do something. That's exactly how successful people think. You're proving it. Right? Successful people don't look all the millions of reasons why you shouldn't do it. They just look at the 1 or 2 reasons why you should do it. And that question boils down to, do you really want it? So I love that.
That's one of the, sorry, go ahead. Continue.
I was going to say on all those mistakes, I noticed one thing you shared on our Warrior Wins page on a deal that you did, that you said, always have a bigger investor list than you think that you should have. Now, I could be wrong, but it sounds like that advice might be coming from something that happened in a deal or the business. What did you mean by that?
Boy, I wish I had a really great story to go along with that, but I don't necessarily have that. I think it's just been around seeing how many people that commit to deals that end up not being able to commit to them from one reason or another. I think a lot of people maybe try to figure out, hey, I need $2 million to raise on this deal. I have this amount of money. And then all of a sudden this person with 500,000, can't get their money from their IRA, or the stock market tank, and they're like, I don't want to take the money out right now. For one reason or another, it's going to happen. So you want to make sure that you're going to be able to complete this deal and have the money to complete the deal, because for all the work that you're going to put into it, if you can't close because you don't have the amount of money ready to go, man, that would be
it's a bad day. That's in the dictionary under a bad day. And I'll tell you, one of the greatest deals we got was that Dallas asset where they couldn't pull the money to close. And that thing's been 100% occupied ever since we've owned it. I mean, it's a freaking home run square. That's about an $8 to $10 million ultimate increase in value. And because that guy couldn't pull the trigger, and Robert, jumped in there within 24 hours. We had the deal renegotiated. We got an extension. We put up earnest money, and we took over for that person. It was one of our better deals. And again, it just ties into analysis paralysis. We didn't know the people we were going to do this deal with. We didn't have all the facts on this deal. Sometimes you just got to take action and make it happen, and not have every box checked off to do this. And so, anyway.
So
yeah.
what do you think you guys had then, if I could jump in that situation? What do you think you had that person before you didn't have?
Well, we had the ability to raise money. And back to, and I wanted to add something to what we were just talking about, where you have more investors than you think you need. I'm going to tell you to always, until you become really good at this, you oversubscribe your deals, meaning you get commitments for about 125% of the money you actually need because of what Adam just described. People change their mind, they back out, whatever. And so oversubscribe the list and just let them know it's first come, first serve. You don't get your money in, you may not get in. And let me tell you something, those few people that don't get in, that wanted to get in, guess who's going to be first in line round 2, okay, on the next deal. So don't fear that. Fear not having enough money. So again, on your first few deals, until you really know your investors and if they say they're going to do something, they're going to do it, definitely oversubscribe. And a good number is 25% more than you need. Would you agree, Adam?
Yeah, maybe more than that.
Maybe more than that. Okay,
I'd say go for 150%.
Okay, well, okay. There you go. So somewhere in there, is what you want to do.
So what do you think it boils down to? I mean, maybe it's just as simple as what you said earlier. Maybe the answer is just networking more, right? But what do you think is the biggest thing that's going to help you get that bigger investor list as you're going into a deal?
Networking.
It's what you just said.
Yeah. Okay. Literally, I mean, you just have to network with more investors, and you have to be able to sell it too. I mean, if you're trying to sell the deal and you can't portray and answer their questions, I mean, no matter how much networking you do, it's probably not going to happen.
You have to understand the business well enough to be able to communicate what you're doing, right?
You know what? You have to start somewhere. So as Rod says, you have to put in your reps. Yeah. So you have to get out there, you have to do it. And really raising money is way before you get a deal. I mean, you need to get to these people and explain what you're doing. Show them a sample deal. Hey, if I find deals like this, do you know anyone interested in looking at this? Yep. Do you know anyone that likes to make money? Oh, okay, great.
Well, I'm hearing a few different things there then. So I'm hearing networking, I'm hearing practice, I'm hearing influence and sales skills. Is that fair to say for all those things?
And like he said, one of the things we give away at our boot camp is a sample deal package as an example. So you can say, hey, and you just say, if this is the kind of stuff we're looking for. If we see something like this, do you want me to give you a call? Because, this is what we love. And so, so it makes it so much easier when you're talking to an investor and you're a little bit of a newbie. You can present a really well put together deal or model that deal to show someone. Yeah.
Awesome. So last one for you, Adam. What's your favorite type of deal? You know, what's your sweet spot, and why do you like those types of deals?
That's a good question. You know, the one where you double your money overnight. I mean, right now, you know, we're looking for BC value add properties
in AB areas.
Yeah, and we're doing that through forced appreciation. You know, we're raising the value of the property by improving the property's performance. You know, bringing in a better resident class, charging higher rents, or maybe even just market rents. Mm-hmm. You know, we're forcing that appreciation and raising the value of the property. And, you know, when you can refinance and pull all your money out and sit in that deal for 10 more years without any money in it, man, that's gravy.
Do the returns on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and like we've got an asset right now that we, Adam and I and Robert, and we had like, I don't know, a dozen warriors there helping us with the due diligence on in Dallas. We've got it under contract, and it's a heavy value add. I mean, we're going to have to change the tenant profile. We're going to have to upgrade the tenant profile. Luckily, we've got an incredible team there, and it's near our other Dallas asset, which is killing it. And so, but you know, that's the kind of stuff we look for. It's an incredible area, and I'd say it's the roughest property in that area, which is exactly what you want. And so, you know, but it's a heavier lift. We're going to have to really do some serious work there. So I'm going to ask you the question, Adam, that I ask most of the people that come on the show. You know, if you could go back and tell your 20-year-old self something about this business, is there anything you'd do differently? Anything that comes to mind when I ask that question?
Man, I wish I was doing this when I was that young.
Yeah.
But it honestly, if I could have been networking back then for this industry, man, I'm scared to think where I'd be right now. To be honest with you, it's one contact can make you a billionaire. By the time you're 50. Seriously, one contact. So how many people do you need in network to get that one contact? And what happens when you get 2 contacts and 3 contacts? You know, you get those good relationships, and you just network. And that's outside of any sort of industry specific thing. I mean, that's just network, man. Network with the people who you want to be.
Yeah.
You know?
And you did that by joining my mastermind. I mean,
yeah.
Let me just tell you something. My multifamily boardroom mastermind, we just added 3 people that I think have pushed us over 14 billion in assets. I can tell you, one's got 17,000 doors. Another one's got over 10,000 doors. Another one's done over 100,000 doors. And in fact, I'm doing an episode with all 3 of them for my 500th episode on the podcast. But they're going to be at the next mastermind event. And these are guys that think what I think is excruciatingly hard is freaking nothing easy. You know, they're fully integrated. They've got their own construction arms, their own management arms, their own private equity arms. They handle receiverships. I mean, these guys are freaking rock stars. In fact, one of them, I invited him to the mastermind last year, and my assistant called his assistant and we said, you know, we're going to fly him down first class. We're going to put him in our in the Ritz-Carlton, you know, really going to take care of him. This is before COVID, obviously. And his assistant tells mine, oh, no. He'll bring his own jet down. It's fine. I'm like, yeah, baby. So anyway, you want to be around people that think what you think is hard is easy. Yeah. What, Adam, please?
Yeah, those people that you just brought on and everyone else in the mastermind, they're just people.
Right.
They're just everyday people.
Right.
They
were where we are. They were where you were when they started, right, Adam?
Yeah. And there's a lot of people in that mastermind that are looking for people to fill their weaknesses.
Yeah. Well, I give you one great example. One of the guys in the mastermind, I'm not going to name names, as I don't know, pushing 5,000 doors now, connected with a guy in his 20s, and they're partners now, and they're killing it. And they met in the mastermind. So, those are the kind of connections that are possible. And you got into our inner sphere through the mastermind. And so, guys, you probably, if you're listening, you may not be able to join mine because we look for people that have some assets and have done, can add value to a group of hitters, but create your own, for God's sakes. You can create your own, put together 3 or 4 people. I know inside the Warrior Group, we've got multiple masterminds already created in there where warriors get together and mastermind together, outside of the the coaching part of what we do. But by the way, if you guys are interested in the Warrior Group, text the word crush to 41411 and let's see if we can help you crush it in this business. Again, that's crush to 41411 and we'll set up a call and just see if it's a fit. You'll see if we're a fit for you and we'll see if you're a fit for us. And if not, I promise you'll leave that call better than when you went in. So you definitely want to take advantage of that. Again, that's crush to 41411. So Adam, I've got a couple more questions. The first one is, what inspires you? What gets you, you're very motivated. What's motivating you?
A couple of things. I really like to win. So whether it's a small win or a big win, those kind of things keep me motivated. And then when I achieve them, it helps me propel even farther. But it's also about getting more time. I mean, it's the number one resource that everyone can't get back. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking to get more time with my family, more quality time with my family. And that is a big reason why I jumped into real estate, because with my previous business, I felt like I was losing more time. It was kind of I was sliding down the slope. And so I found this as an opportunity to spend more time with my family. With real estate, I can travel, take my family, just like you mentioned, I came and stayed at your place with my family. Got to spend some time. So it was business and family at the same time. And I've been able to tag them along on a lot of trips where it was business and pleasure at the same time. So really, that's really what keeps me motivated.
Love it. So favorite quote?
I was just going to say something, but I don't agree with the company. It was their slogan, so I'm not going to say that.
Just do it?
Yeah.
You don't have to agree with the company. Too. It's an awesome quote. Okay. So it's all right. Screw the company, but the quote is fantastic. Because guys, that's it. Bottom line, you get right down to it. That's it. You just have to freaking do it. You don't analyze it. You don't get, you just take action, and action will mitigate any fear. It's counterintuitive, but that's how the world works. That's how it works.
You were talking about the young guy that partnered with the guy with a lot of experience in the mastermind. I won't name names either. Right. But he just did it.
Yeah.
How many 20-year-olds are talking about how they can't do it and convincing?
Yeah, he just bought a plane. He just bought a plane, by the way, and he's just got his pilot's license as well. Just an FYI.
He just went and did it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what successful people do.
And it doesn't mean he didn't have fear. He did have fear, but he pushed through in spite of the fear. And again, I know if you're listening, that you could be very well in that spot. Please fear regret more than failure, okay? Or fear regret more than being embarrassed or humiliated, which was mine. Because people really don't care that much, okay? They care about themselves. They don't care about you. They care about themselves. So don't worry about what they think. It's freaking irrelevant. Seriously. All right, brother.
And what's interesting is that almost every single warrior that we've had on this podcast now has given almost the exact same answer, and we haven't prompted them at all. Just do it. Right. Just take action. Right? There's obviously a clue. Different.
What?
No, it's a good thing that you're saying the same thing. It reinforces that idea, obviously, that there isn't a magic sauce. It just takes getting out of your comfort zone and doing it.
It's not about background. It's not about IQ. It's not about net worth. It's about none of that. It's about taking freaking action, period. That's it. Anyway, brother, it's good to see you, man. I appreciate you coming on the show. Mark, it's good to see you, buddy. And this was a lot of fun. And
absolutely. Great having you, Adam.
Yep. We'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
Thanks,
guys.
Take care.
Rod, I know a lot of our listeners are wanting to take their multifamily investing business to the next level. Now, I know you've been hard at work helping our Warrior students do just that using our ACT methodology, which is awareness, close, and transform. Can you explain to the listeners how they can get our help?
You bet. Guys, we've been going nonstop for 3 years, building an amazing community of like-minded people. And our coaching students, which we call our warriors, have had extraordinary results. They've purchased thousands and thousands of units. And last year we did over 1,000 units with our students. And we're looking to grow this group and take it to the next level. We're looking for people who want to follow a proven framework that's really step by step and then leverage our systems and network to raise equity, to find and close deals, and to build partnerships nationwide. Now, our warrior community is finding success in any market cycle. So if you're interested in finding out more about how you can become more of our incredible network and take advantage of the incredible opportunities that are coming very soon, apply to work with us at mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 41411. That's mentorwithrod.com or text CRUSH to 41411.